should know this well. Ain't trying to wish you ill. Hope this life treats you swell. Oh yeah, PS, go fuck yourself.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Hajilicious, and welcome back to my prediction series. Today, we're taking on the Week 8 NFL matchup of Raiders at Buccaneers. But first, let's get back into last week's game of Raiders at Jaguars, where the Raiders have improved to a 5-2 record after the complete dismantling of the Jacksonville Jaguars, 33-16. That game was a game I've been waiting for. It was a little closer score-wise than the final score would make lead you to believe. The Jaguars were kind of sticking around. The Raiders got off to a hot early lead and kind of went into coast mode by halftime and just tried to protect their lead, which they did. But it was the first game, and I've been asking for this all goddamn season, where we could just take the fourth quarter off, and that's almost what we had happen to us. This was the type of game I was hoping to see out of the Raiders, where they played more of a complete game. It was, a good game. Offense, defense played pretty well. Special teams played out of their fucking minds. Marquette King, I don't know what more I can say about a punter than Marquette King. I mean, the Raiders have had some greats, all-time greats, in Ray Guy and Shane Leckler. But Marquette King is doing everything in his fucking world to dethrone those guys as the Raiders' best punter. He had 2 punts inside the 60, 2 punts that were 60-yarders. He had like 5 that were down behind the 20, 1 down behind the 10. And when the Raiders were in the final fourth quarter, Marquette King put this game away single-handedly for the Raiders. The Raiders were in clock kill mode. Took a bunch of time off the clock. I want to say there's about 4 minutes left in the game. They line up 4th and 24 for a punt. The punt was low snapped, and they're in the Jaguars. They're in their pretty much about 20, 30-yard line. And low snap from Kondo, bobbled, hit the ground, popped up. Marquette King luckily got a hold of that ball and took off running. He needed 24 yards to get a first down. He got 27. Like, the dude has got some fucking wheels. Like, I don't know why they've never used him on a fake before. There's a funny story when Marquette came into the league. The first snap he ever took with the Raiders, I think it was against the Cowboys. And he lines up against them, and some defensive players in the Cowboys started yelling, "It's a fake, it's a fake, it's a black punter, it's a fake." No, this motherfucker is legit. He accounted for, I want to say almost 20 points. Like, he had a direct responsibility, whether it was field position, getting that ball out, or getting that first down at the end of the game that led eventually to a Latavius Murray touchdown, which is put the game away entirely. But if that ball got away from Marquette King, and it would most likely have been swooped up and ran in for a Jaguars touchdown, that's a 3-point game right there. That's a complete, game-changing moment. I'm not sure if the Jaguars would have been able to bring it back, because this game was one of those games where there's been an argument, and I've had an argument with a couple of my buddies, even who are Raiders fans even, about who was the better quarterback from the draft class between Carr and Bortles. And I really think, numbers-wise, I think Carr has finally put this argument to bed, especially with facing Bortles, Jack Del Rio's old team. He went out there and balled out. He is leaps and bounds above Blake Bortles, and it's not even fucking close. He's better than Bortles. He's better than everybody else that was drafted in that class. We don't really know. Teddy, I think he's still better than Teddy Bridgewater, even though old Teddy Two Gloves blown his knee out. There's some doctors who are thinking he might not even play again. Jimmy Garoppolo, we don't really know what we have in him yet either, because he's going to sit behind Brady until Brady retires. But he looks like the heir apparent to Tom Brady. And then there's old Johnny Manziel, who, like the rest of us, is watching football from a local bar. So I think David Carr is or Derek Carr. I don't fucking call him David Carr. I was reading something. Fucking Christ. Derek Carr is so much better than him. David Carr, I think, taught him a lot. That's kind of where I was going to go here. Is David Carr. One thing with having David Carr's experiences in Derek's forefront is the game's not too big for him, and that's what I love about Derek, is that when you watch him out there, you could just see he's got a fire and a passion in him that only like you see from people like Brady and people like Rivers, and like he's not like angry, but like that motherfucker is ready to roll, and I love that about him. What else we have? Latavius Murray, motherfucking Latavius. We have been standing at the station for the last 2 games waiting for the Tay train to arrive, and finally that motherfucker is back, and so is the Raiders' run game. I don't consider Latavius an elite back. I consider him a good back, above average. But my fucking God, did we miss him. He is... If you look at the numbers of Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington, their numbers aren't bad. Like, they were averaging 3 to 4 yards to carry, popping off some big runs. But the one thing that they can't do that Latavius does great is that goal line work and being able to move the chains. Because when the run game was ran by Jalen and DeAndre, the biggest problems that I saw is we weren't moving the chains. We weren't picking up the third downs, and we weren't getting first down runs. They were breaking off big yards to give their numbers good, but it just wasn't fucking happening. David Amerson. Motherfucker, I love this kid. He has his another interception in the end zone, pulled a pick six off he pick sixed Bortles, and goddamn, he is currently leading the NFL with 36 pass defended, and since the start of the 2015 season, he's got 36 pass defense. I think Marcus Peters is right behind him still. But one big addition that I've seen so far has been Pat Riley Jr. at middle linebacker. He played 100% of the snaps at middle linebacker for this game, which speaks volumes to what the coaches see in him, and really speaks volumes about how shitty our middle linebacking position's been, because it's been a 9-day difference between what Pat Riley does and what Corey James and Ben Heaney have been doing. Because Pat Riley's at least, because there's a science to playing linebacker. It's a mixture of training and film preparation to be able to execute at a split-second notice when you see these plays developing. And that's the biggest problem with middle linebackers. You got to be a smart motherfucker to be able to play that. You just can't go off of instincts or what. You have to know what they're doing. Like, you're technically the captain of the defense there. And he's been a great addition to this team. We had a Khalil Mack sighting. He got his 3rd sack for the game. Finally, Khalil Mack starting to get some separation. If you watch the film on this guy, it's fucking incredible. Like, he has this ability to flatten himself, like almost laying down on the ground before the snap, and being able to turn and accelerate his body and get around tackles like nobody's fucking business. He is a force to be reckoned to, and he is getting held almost every single fucking play. Like, if there was a referee that just sat there and watched his matchup, it would just be flag after flag after flag, because if you don't fucking hold that guy, he's going to eat your quarterback. And that's exactly what he was doing, was that defense was eating Blake Bortles. So let's move on to the next game. We got Buccaneers game coming up next, Raiders at Bucks. This is another game that I expect the Raiders to win in a pretty good fashion. Jack Del Rio did a really savvy move this week, and he kept the Raiders in Florida, because there's no point in flying back to the O and then flying back to Florida for the next week. He kept everybody there, and this team travels well. They have become road warriors. That's what they are. We're still undefeated on the road. I don't know why they can't figure this shit out at home, but I read something that said Jack is very big on the team when they travel together, like, traveling together, eating together, rooming together, like it's a bonding experience for that team, and it's really paying off. There's some savvy moves by Jack Del Rio that just, say what you want about JDR. Like, there's some people are still not sold on him. I like Jack. Like, if it's not, we're fucking 3 years away from Tony Sperano burying fucking footballs. Like, we got a real coach here who knows what he's doing. He's got the balls to call these crazy plays, and he's got the balls to execute, which I am completely okay with. This game, though, the Buccaneers right now are 3-3. They just came off of a win that they consider big against the San Francisco 49ers. Anytime you see a headline from Buccaneers or any team's blog sites, and they're like, oh yeah, big win over a fucking shitty team like that, those are the teams you got to win against. We cannot go and drop a game to the Bucs. Like, the Broncos are still hot on our heels. They're half game behind. They're 5-2 as well. The Chargers game is the tiebreaker there. But the Raiders want to maintain first in the AFC West in this 5-2 record, which is the best start the Raiders have had since 2000, 2001, the Rich Gannon Super Bowl years. They need to come out here and make another statement against the fucking Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, I don't think, have the defense to keep up with Derek Carr, and I think our defense is going to do just enough to stifle Jameis Winston, which he's one of those guys. Tight ends are still kind of a problem for us. I wouldn't expect too much from these guys, but I'm still not going to sleep on the Bucs. They're still a good team. Jameis Winston is an okay quarterback. I like Winston. Old crab legs I think he's going to be okay for him. But he's not. What Derek Carr is doing right now is special. What the Raiders have been doing right now on offense is special because their defense has not been playing very good. And the fact that they're 5-2 with a shitty defense should scare the fuck out of the rest of the league. Because once the Raiders figure defense out and this defense starts gelling, once Mario Edwards is back, once Alden Smith is back, this team might start gelling, and that's when they're going to become scary, is when they can have the ability to dictate teams on defense. Because right now that offense is fucking electric. I'm still in a love-hate relationship with Bill Musgrave because I think he gets a little too conservative the second he gets a lead. But he's letting Carr air it out more. He's letting Carr. We cannot shit on Bill Musgrave and not give him credit where credit's due because this offense is fucking explosive. It just has some bad tendencies. And the Raiders are winning games, and they're winning games ugly, which is not necessarily a bad thing because bad teams need a lot of things to go right to win games. Good teams win games ugly, and that's what we did. We won that game yesterday with 117 yards of penalties. That's not something the Raiders used to do. That used to be if we broke 5 years ago, if we broke 100 yards of penalties, that's usually what buried us. Not anymore. We got a leader in Derek Carr. We got the best two wide receiver duos in the league right now in Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper. No other wide receiver duo in the league has accounted for more yards than those two. They have been fucking phenomenal. Amari is electric, and he breaks those big plays, and Crabtree has just been captain clutch. He was against the Jaguars. He almost had 100 yards. He had 7 catches for 96 yards and a score. I have to thank Reggie McKenzie so much for taking a stab on that diva wide receiver from San Francisco because he's paying off. But this game, I expect the Raiders to win. I expect the Raiders to win by at least 2 scores. This is a game that I would hope them to win something like 31-14, somewhere in that kind of similar to what they just did against the Jaguars. Bucks are coming up, the Jags are coming up, but the Raiders are here. The Raiders are fucking for real. Let's move on to fucking 6-2. Let's take this division. We got some big divisional games coming up. We need to come out of Florida with the 2 big wins here and hope the Broncos drop a game. Because if we can keep a game distance between the Broncos even before we play them, that's going to be fucking fantastic. But let's do that one. 31-14. Raiders win this one. Please remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I really do enjoy doing this. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, go fuck yourselves and go Raiders.